Once we've done the basic prototype on paper and we've tested it with people, it's now time to turn that into a more sophisticated version of it, but still a very low fidelity wireframe digitally. And so we've done that here in Adobe XD. So we've picked up exactly where we left off with the last time we were in XD when we were working on the screen flow. So let's take a look at how I went about creating this. So this is the point that we left off at last time. So I'm just going to take some of the text off the screen because we just don't really need that on there at the moment. And then I'm going to start the design process. I'm going to start by, for myself, the project requires a feed of images. So I'm just going to add in some rectangles to the screen. Let's make those a little darker to show that they're an image. And let's put a label on there. I always think it's really important to have a label on because otherwise there's not really any point in just putting a rectangle on the screen. It doesn't mean anything to anybody. So it's obviously really important that you just make it appear so that people can understand what they're seeing. Okay, with both of those elements, that's good. We just want to add one more thing to the bottom of this, and that would be a little description. People are going to add the description to this, so I'm going to put in here. That's good. And I want to reduce that down to say 16 pixels. Maybe even just extend that a little bit. And maybe move it a little closer so that they appear together. So now I'm just going to select all of that together. I'm going to go up to the repeat grid option. Slide it out this way. And slide it down here. There we go. That was pretty quick and easy. So now I want to add a way to get from here to adding an image. So I need some way to add an image. And at this point, I'm really not designing the interface. I just need a button that makes it obvious that that's what people are to do, like as in add. So I'm going to put a circle at the bottom. I'm kind of thinking along the lines of an Android interface where they have those floating circles. And I'm just going to put a plus inside of that. So here we go, put a plus. Let's make that kind of bigger with say 60, something like that. And then I'll just pop that in there at the bottom. Okay, both those elements together. I'm going to turn this into a symbol. So I click on the symbol icon over here. The symbols comes up, I click plus, and there it is in the library. That means I can reuse that whenever I want to. Just hide that for now. That's great. So I'm going to use it over here. So now over here, just move this off the screen. Yeah, if you don't get it all the way off, it kind of goes sort of semi-transparent. So if you put it there, it looks like you can't really see it. Like you click it, it's disappeared. So if you move it all the way off, you can see it even when you let go. Just a word of warning. Okay, so on the screen here, I'm just going to add a rectangle. I'm again going to give it a light color, something like that. And I'm actually going to steal the word image from here and copy it and just kind of paste it over. So I'm just saying what that actually is, what people are seeing there. I go to my symbols. And let's just add a sort of plus symbol there as well to show that, you know, that's where they would take the photograph. I'm not worried about what that is as an interface element, just as long as people understand that they could take a photo. So I'm even going to write that here, take photo, so that people get that. And normally that actually defaults to the system camera. Okay, that's looking pretty good. So basically just like that, I just keep building up the elements that I've got. I just move the things off and do that all the way around and then start to fill in the interface. So I've got one that I've kind of got in progress here that's a little bit further on. And coming down here, this is the bit where people would comment on why you posted this. So you've got your image, you've taken your photograph, it comes down. Now here's the bit that you want to sort of comment on. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to File. I'm going to go to this menu item here, which is Open UI Kit, and I'm going to choose Google Material. Takes a second. But down here, I can see there's a keyboard. So I'm going to grab that keyboard, copy it. I'm going to close that. Come to this screen, paste. And straight away, I've got an Android keyboard and I've not had to design it at all. So great time savers there. You've got iOS, you've got Windows, so you can use both of those as well. So that's kind of good. Now from there, I'm going to take this and I'm going to add it to this one over here. So what I've done here on this side is I've got an image. So we're thinking over here, you're viewing the type of image. So you're on the feed of images, you click one of the images, you look at it bigger, and you get the option to rate it here. So if you were to click on here, it would take you and rate it. If you were to click here where it's asking you, what do you think? This is where you would write your own comment. I agree, blah, 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 or whatever. I disagree, whatever you want to say. So there's the keyboard there, and then it would take you back again afterwards. So we've got the basics of it all kind of laid out. Now the stars that you're seeing on the screen, that's exactly the same thing that I did in the very first video about XD when we were doing the persona. So if you can't remember what I did there, just go back and look at that. I just basically cut and pasted a star from Illustrator across and then used the repeat grid to move it along. So here's an optional step. You don't have to do this, but it's kind of a good thing to do if you want to. It's always good to continuously test what it is you're doing. So we're going to move over now into prototype phase. And what this means, prototype phase, is that we are going to link elements up as if we're able to use it. So if someone was to click on here, we want them to go to this screen because we want them to take a photo. So I'm going to say that we are going to slide left into the screen. When we're done here, and we click on this plus button, we want them then to go down here so they can comment again, sliding left. Continuing on that idea, when they click on the keyboard and they've typed the message, we want it to go back again here, again continuously sliding left, not going backwards, it's a continuous pushing onwards movement. So if we were to test that, go up to the little play button up at the top here, click on the plus, take my photo, so aim my phone at whatever it is I want to take a photo of, snap it, type in there, and then I'm back again to the feed. And that's the basics of it kind of working. So if I click over here, and we were to click on any of these elements, what's it going to do? It's going to take us, so even though you think, oh, it should be on this side, it's not, it's always going to appear over here. Just drag it over. Again, we want it to slide left, and look, if you notice, it's come over this way now. We still want it to slide left because we want to feel like we're moving forwards. So that's good. Then if we click on, let's see if we can grab this. There we go. We want it to slide left to here. Actually, we don't want it to slide left. We want it to be none. We just want it to appear like as if you've tapped on there and you've given it 3 stars. Similarly, if we click on here, we want it to go down here. Again, it should be none. It is. It's good. It remembers it. And again, if we were to do this, none there. Then the keyboard, let's bring it back again. So we're doing our cycle, our circular view, slide left, and we can test that now. So we go to play. Actually, we need to be on the right screen to start with, which is this screen. Play. Click here. We're on the image. I want to rate it. There we go. I've rated it. What do I think? I want to add the keyboard, type my thing, and away I go. So a quick and simple way there to actually start your prototyping already. You can give that to people to test. And again, this is all additional work. You would do this if you were in the field. You would test it at every single stage until you refine it and get it really good. And so we go from what we call on the screen here a very low fidelity wireframe, and we eventually end up at a very high fidelity wireframe, which becomes the design that we're going to go forward with. So that's how we create a very simple wireframe design digitally using Adobe XD.